In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make cherry crisp in the Dutch oven. If you've never had food that's come out of a Dutch oven, you should give it a try. I don't know what there is about it. I guess it's the flavor of the cast iron, but the flavor is so much better than cooking it in the oven in the house. This is a recipe that I come up with. Don't want to waste any time. Let's get right to it. So for starters, I'll get the chimney filled with briquettes so that they can be ready to use to cook this cherry crisp. This is the chimney I have. It's old. This is a larger size than some. So you want to make sure that this bottom part is secured in there and closed so that it'll hold the briquettes. I'm going to start by shredding some paper to put in the bottom as a fire starter. You want to make sure that your paper is nice and dry. Then I have about 30 briquettes here. And I'll explain more about the briquettes in a little bit while this is cooking down. I'll set the chimney here on this concrete slab so that nothing catches on fire on the ground. I have a smaller one of these chimneys, but I like this bigger one. It's just easier. The only thing I wish is that they had a hole big enough for the lighter. I have some paper sticking out here, so I'll light that up top here. I'll let that go until the briquettes are turning white, and then I'll know that they're ready to use. And while the briquettes are getting ready, we'll go ahead and mix together our ingredients to make our cherry crisp. So I have all of my ingredients here. I've measured out some of them and some of them I have not. We'll start with the cherry pie filling. The recipe I use is probably double what most of the recipes you will find have. So I have 2 cans of cherry pie filling, and I will add almond extract to the cherry pie filling for flavor. I never measure this, I just go by taste. So I will try to measure this and get an approximate measurement, but you will want to taste it as you go just to get it to the flavor that you like, because everybody likes something different. So I'll start with just putting a teaspoon in, and then I'll try it and see if that's gonna be good enough. Before I try it though, I'm going to add my cinnamon. These are both optional. I love how the cinnamon and the almond extract really enhance the flavor of this cherry pie filling. It just kind of takes it to another level. But you could just put straight cherry pie filling with nothing else added. Sometimes I add a little salt also, because many cherry pie fillings do not have that. So I just sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon on top. I would say maybe 1/4 teaspoon, but again, you just want to put it in there a little at a time and taste test it to see what you like. So I'll stir that together. I can already tell that I'm going to want more cinnamon because I can usually see it a little more. I'll try it. So it does need another teaspoon of almond extract and another dash of cinnamon. That's probably a little more than a dash, but so the extra teaspoon is just what it needed. So 2 teaspoons of almond extract, and I'm going to say 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. So the cherry pie filling is ready. So I have 1.25 cups of brown sugar here, and 1 cup of flour, and 1 cup of Old Fashioned Oats, and 3/4 cup of chopped pecans. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'll stir this together. And now I will add 2/3 cup of butter to this. Stir that all together. Okay, you want to make sure that you get it completely mixed together. And now it's ready. It looks like my briquettes are ready also. So I'm going to dump them out on the concrete slab, and then I'll explain a little bit more about the Dutch oven. So I couldn't find my riser. Normally I have a cast iron riser, so I decided to go and get these cans. They're just larger size, maybe 1 quart. So I'm gonna set these here to put my legs on. So you wanna make sure that it's lined up with your cans, your little legs on your Dutch oven. So I'll put my ingredients in here now. I brought this into the house and I scrubbed it all up because this is the first time I've used it this year. Then I went ahead and seasoned it while it was in there because it's been a while since I seasoned it. So it's already got oil in it. So I'll get my cherries in here. And I'll just make sure that they're level all the way across. This is a 12-inch, 8-quart Dutch oven. Now I'll get my topping on top of that. I'll probably just mount it in the middle and then move it around so I can make sure it's all even. It already looks so good, but it's going to look even better here shortly. So I have this lid lifter here that I'll lift the lid up with. And I'll just make sure that there's nothing under this because I had it sitting on the ground. And then I'll get the lid on here. And when it comes to deciding how many briquettes to put on the top and on the bottom, it really depends on a lot of things. This is a 12-inch Dutch oven. So typically you double that. So it would be 24 briquettes. I did prepare 30 briquettes. And the reason for that is because sometimes I want it to be a little bit more brown on top. It depends on what you're cooking. If you're making a cake or something like that that has a lot of moisture, you want to make sure you don't get too much heat on it all at once. You want to keep a close eye on it. But this has the cherry pie filling in the bottom, so it's a little less risky, but you still want to be careful. You put the majority on the top and then just some on the bottom. So I'm just going to put some here on the top and just evenly distribute it. I don't think I have to worry too much about it at this point. These briquettes cooked really fast, so some of them are smaller, so I'm going to add extras on the top here because of that. I want to make sure that I have an even distribution here on the top so it evenly browns on the inside. I have 18 briquettes on here, and that would mean I would only put 6 underneath, and we'll start with that. This is raised up probably about 5 inches. Because it's just cherry pie filling, I'm not too concerned. You'll want to check this every 15 minutes, especially once it's cooked for a little bit. So you just want to move them bottom briquettes around so that they're kind of distributed well. So you can kind of see what it looks like here. I just have about 6 briquettes underneath. With everything that you make, it's going to vary a little bit. They say that each briquette is about 25 degrees. So that's another way to decide what temperature you want things to be. But there's so many factors, like how far your Dutch oven is off of your briquettes and how brown you want the bottom of your baked good to be. If you're just doing soup, you can have a lot more briquettes underneath. Whereas if you're doing something with high moisture, you want to have less. So we'll let this cook and check it in about 15 minutes. All right, it's been more like 25 minutes. So I'll open it up and check it. You want to make sure that you don't get any of the ash inside of the Dutch oven. So I'll set it aside here. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's getting brown. Maybe 15 more minutes. I'm not too concerned about it overcooking at this point. Normally you would rotate this about every 15 minutes. I'll go ahead and rotate it to show you, but this doesn't seem to be overcooking. Actually, I'm gonna let this just sit down on the cans because I don't see the bottom bubbling yet, so it's not overheating. I will say that using the cans is a little bit of a challenge to know where your pegs are without burning yourself or messing anything up. So there is that disadvantage with the cans. If I come back and it's still not bubbling, then I'll set it right down in the coals just for a little while to make sure that that's good and bubbly. I did move the Dutch oven all the way down onto the briquettes. I just moved the briquettes around and kind of broke them up a little bit so that there'd be an even heat distribution on the bottom of it. All right, let's see what it's looking like now. Oh yes, it's starting to bubble now and it's brown. I'm gonna call it done. It's looking really good. You want to make sure you set your lid somewhere that's kind of protected because you don't want somebody to get burnt and you don't want the hot lid to burn something. Doesn't that look so good? I'm gonna scoop a little of this out. Oh, that looks so good. When you work so hard to create a great dish like this, the best part is trying it out. So let's see how it tastes. It's still, I think a bug just got me. It's still really hot, so I'm gonna have to be careful here. It's hot. It is really good. I would honestly prefer it a little cooler than what it is. It's very hot, so it's hard to take in all the flavors. But I made enough so it should last for a few days. So if you're out camping or you just love to cook with a Dutch oven, give this recipe a try. I really like this ratio of the cherry pie filling and the topping. So if you give this recipe a try, let me know what you think about it. If you enjoy content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I hope that you're all having a wonderful day, and bye for now.